We're welcoming back Ted Sevransky, professional sports bettor from Las Vegas. And Ted, we got two interesting NBA games, and I am very anxious to hear your breakdown. The Golden State Warriors, who just pulled out of a little slump and absolutely crushed and manhandled the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, are going to Chicago to play the Bulls, who have been the model of inconsistency, in my view, this year. What are your thoughts on this game? What are the opening lines, if you don't mind me asking? And if you had a lean or a pick, just kind of break it down for me.
Yeah, the very first numbers I've seen are Golden State minus 5.5. And look at this total for this contest, 216 as the opening, the very first numbers for Bulls Warriors. We'll have to see what happens as this market matures. But I mean, Golden State's going to be favored everywhere. They were dogs in Cleveland. Oops. That game turned out to be non-competitive throughout the second half. And that creates, I mean, not that there wasn't already a value problem with Golden State, but when you're seeing the Warriors off they went by 40, 50. I mean, it was a fourth quarter that I did not watch because there was no reason to watch.
Sure.
But, off a complete annihilation of what's supposed to be the best team in the East on national TV. And, oh, by the way, now they got another road game against a solid, if not spectacular, foe in Chicago. From a value standpoint, from a situational standpoint, this is not a great spot for the Golden State Warriors. And one thing I've done fairly consistently this year, I haven't been betting against Golden State when it's like, I got to bet against Golden State. No, not here, not there. I think I've cashed a couple of winning bets against the Warriors, but we are talking about a team that, continues to be one of the best point spread teams in the NBA. The markets simply haven't caught up with how good Golden State is. And that's stunning to me, considering that, maybe it's a West Coast bias thing because I live in Vegas and I hear, but out here we know that the Warriors really have been that good. They were that good last year. They're better this year. But for whatever reason, that hasn't crossed over the Mississippi or something. Golden State has not achieved that, yes, we're truly elite status from a point spread perspective, at least not so far. Because teams like the Warriors aren't supposed to be ranked number 2 in the NBA ATS right now. And it tells us the markets have been wrong about this team.
Yeah. And Ted, also, the Warriors, obviously, Steve Kerr still not back on the bench. Luke Walton has just filled in admirably, done a great job there, and, not getting a lot of credit, not wanting a lot of credit. All right, now with the Bulls, Fred Hoiberg, first year on the bench with the Bulls, came out of Iowa State. Do you think, and again, just looking for your opinion, has he won that team over? Are they buying what he is selling on a night-to-night basis? And do you think that Derrick Rose will be healthy, to put up a battle against the Warriors?
I mean, Derrick Rose is not a key player on the Bulls. The Bulls' key players are, Pau Gasol and Jimmy Butler. And Rose is the guy who the fans have caught on with. But in terms of his impact on the team, whether he's on the floor or not, there's not a huge difference. Chicago moves just fine when Derrick Rose is out of the lineup. They move just fine when he's in the lineup. Rose is not a difference maker for the Bulls, not even close, at least from what I've seen. When you ask about if they bought into Hoiberg, I'm not convinced that they have. And, as you talked about, I mean, the level of inconsistency from the Bulls this year has been stunning, really stunning. Where they'll show one night and bring up, they're one night they're good enough to beat Golden State, the next night they're bad enough to lose to Brooklyn or Philadelphia or somebody. That inconsistent effort has been a big concern for A, Chicago backers, and B, Hoiberg supporters. And when we look at how well, his Iowa State team has done without him since he arrived in Chicago, you start saying, well, maybe some of the hype on Hoiberg, maybe a little bit too much hype. But the bottom line is I don't like the chemistry issues on this team. The issue, with Noah going down, what looks like, the end of his Chicago Bulls career, that's a problem for a team that has lacked low post defensive muscle at times this year. You have Meritic, who personifies the team inconsistency. Mm-hmm. One night he's nailing everything. The next night he's a non-factor on both ends of the floor. Wow. These are concerns for Chicago. But one thing that has been consistent about the Bulls this season, dating back to obviously the Tom Thibodeau situation, they step up. Chicago steps up for their big games. Mm-hmm. This team won at Golden State last year in overtime. And with the Warriors coming off as big a win as they just had in Cleveland, I don't know that they're going to do that twice in a row. Golden State's a team I hesitate to step in front of, and I'm no big Bulls fan. But from a spot perspective, yeah, Chicago coming off the nice win against Detroit on MLK Day. That's a step in the right direction for a team that had really gone through a pretty ugly couple of weeks to open up the new year. I don't see the Bulls getting blown off their home floor the way the Cavs did the other night. I think Chicago might well hang in this one.
Okay. And also, I was going to ask about Noah, but you just, absolutely pulled that one right up. So I think he might be done in a Bulls uniform as well. So anxious to see who steps up and which Miratek's going to show up, and how much he will contribute tomorrow. So, okay, Ted, well, we thank you for your breakdown and kind of leaning on the Bulls, just a lean, nothing solid. But I like your input there, and I really like what you're talking about with Derrick Rose, because I also think that Butler and Gasol are definitely the keys that crank that car up on a nightly basis. All right, you heard it out there, viewers. And Ted, we look forward to having you back again with us real soon to break down another NBA game. Have a great day and beat the book.